Is that 6 o'clock, I hear? Yes, it is. It's time for Whose Views Live at 6 then. Hello, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. It's Sunday, the 4th of May, 2025. Hello. Hope you're having a lovely day. If you're in England, I hope if you've got it, you're having a nice bank holiday. Yes, one more day off for you lot, you lucky, lucky things, you. What you like? Outrageous behavior, I think. No, we don't get it up here, but never mind. It's good to see you all. Thank you very much. Yes, this is your warm-up show before your big review show in a couple of hours live here on the channel at 8 o'clock. Oh, yes. And yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about with the Whotastic panel in that because have you seen it? 1.5 million overnights last night for Lucky Day. So bring on all the jokes about it not being such a lucky day for the Doctor or the series or RTD, Shooty Gatwa, the lot of them. God, can you imagine everybody? 1.5 million. It's actually still, I'm still going to say it's very embarrassing time to be a Doctor Who fan. And yet, we're still getting it today. How many of you today have had, oh, the overnights don't matter. Everything's all right. There's nothing to see here. The thing's crashing around us and they're all going, oh, there's nothing to see here. I bet you've all had that today. Hello, everyone. How are you? Nice to see you all in the chat. Yeah, Kirsty's with us as well, saying, whosviews1@gmail.com. That's it, Kirst. You get reminding them because, yes, if you want to get in touch with us, you can. whosviews1@gmail.com. And hello to Eddie, who's saying, evening, JT, and my fellow Who's Views. That's nice, isn't it? I love that. Legion of James is saying 1.5. It was my lucky day, and I missed it deliberately. Oh, Legion of James, you make me laugh. Bill Larry is saying, I was only out, but oh, were you? What, on the ratings game last week, were you? Oh, good. And PTA, hello, Paul. Hello, JT. I love Lucky Day. It had its flaws, but it was an unusual premise. More of that coming up later on. I'm afraid, guys, I'm another one that was a bit sort of meh. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that in the big review show later on. But it's good to see you all. I just want to actually read you an email that I've had, actually. And I want to say a huge hello to Stephen Evans and Jane Evans. And thank you so much for your email. Listen to this, viewers. Hello, JT, and may I thank you for your interesting and informative podcast, and thanks to your team as well. My wife, Jane, wrote to you the other week, which you kindly acknowledged on your last podcast. We've been married for 47 years and witnessed the very first episode, though we were some 30 miles apart and not yet met then. I was 11. I knew things were different back then, but come on. I was 11 when the first episode aired, so not knowing the effect it would have on me, and over the years later watching it with my wife, we both felt entertained. Sadly, since the Whittaker era was a failure, and now we have some Who which falls well below the mark, it could have been so much better. We continue to watch just in case it miraculously gets better. Thanks again. Best wishes. Well, to Stephen, Jane, thank you so much for your email. That's lovely. It's good to hear from you, and I hope you're all happy. And are you still plodding through? Because I know I am. It's like walking through treacle now. Spot the reference. Where's that quote come from, everyone? Put it in the chat. It's like walking through treacle. But yeah, that's what it's like, isn't it? It was only episode 4 last night. And it's just, oh my God, I'm so bored. Can't wait to see what the Whotastic panel are going to be talking about. But no, it was good to hear you, Stephen Jane. Thank you so much. And John's actually also saying that as well. Look at that. Great story, Stephen Jane. Thank you. I just love the fact, too, viewers, that we've actually got people joining us that were there on that first night back in 1963 with William Hartnell. Isn't that fantastic? I just love that. What a special time that must have been. Yeah, so keep in touch. Please keep in touch. Before we go and look at other stuff and we talk a bit more about that 1.5, Mr. Brown Alliance, I'm so sorry about this, but he's saying Doctor Who is deader than my sex life. Well, okay. I was going to say get batteries, but you're not that sort of boy, are you? But anyway, you know, it's just, what can we do? What can we say for you? Oh, hello, Julianne. Hiya. I had a great lucky day. I got the lawn cut. Stoke City stayed up. But what? Had a pizza and watched Space 1999, Dragon's Domain. Classic. And then a cheesy Buck Rogers movie. I went nowhere near Disney Who. And it is a chore. Sheila be in the devotions watching it. It is. Yeah. Well, listen, if you've seen the thumbnail to today's show, to Live at 6, you'll know that I am stunned, flabbergasted, slightly horrified by a rumor that's doing the circuits. Have you seen it? Have you seen this one? This rumor that's going around that Jodie Whittaker is coming back into Doctor Who as the Doctor at the season finale. So it couldn't get any worse. And the season finale of this series we're watching now, I was going to say something else then, but apparently that's the rumor that's going on. And I was thinking about this, and I was just thinking, what a ridiculous idea that is. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Now, I'm not actually qualified at all, as long-term viewers of this show, this channel will know, because I boycotted the Chibnall era for several reasons. The biggest one being I knew it was going to be awful, so I didn't bother with it. So I'm not really qualified to speak about her returning to Doctor Who, because if she did, if this was some sort of truth, which I don't personally believe, but if this was some sort of truth, this would be the first time I would have seen her playing the alleged Doctor. But I'm going to ask you all, why would you just do that? Why would you finish off a series with the other and equally unpopular Doctor Who? So I was thinking, who do I know that might be able to join me here at Live at 6 on Who's Views, who does know the Jodie Whittaker era and did get through all 3 or 4 years of it? Well, they're here with me now, and of course it is the one and only. It's Paul, and it's Third Doctor Ian. Hello to you two. This is a big
hello
rumor.
There, hello.
Have you two seen this rumor?
We have. Before we get to that, can I just ask if Steve and Jane have seen Marco Polo?
Yes.
Before we continue. Okay.
They
have. I'm dead jealous. Really.
Oh, okay. Oh dear. I don't know. Problem beings with us, guys. Before we get into this thing, it'd be funny if Jodie Whittaker acted Gatwer off the screen. Low bar. We're practically limboing.
I think she probably will, because I know I keep saying that her era seems to be better than his, or she's better than him, but only by that much, probably.
Eddie's saying, JT, you didn't miss anything from the Jodie era other than non-stop exposition. Oh, really? Thanks for your email as well, Eddie. And yes, I've heard she helps. Oh, look at that lovely Zygon from Steve Braddock there. I love that. Yes, I've heard she helps Shooty through his regeneration and he cries about it being unfair. Well, okay. Steve Black is also saying, double dose of Dross Whittaker back. And Bill, JT, if it's true, you'll get to enjoy, in inverted commas, her performance at last. Yeah, that's
enjoy stretching her a bit, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Hello, John Keeley. It's good to see you. Thanks all for joining us here. But this is the rumor that I have to be honest. Oh, Random Lad, welcome to Who's Views. It's good to see you, Random Lad 87. The way the ratings are going, no one will see a return. That's true. It's going down again,
It's just like she's a giant nail to add to the coffin, basically. That's it, you know.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
She's not a ratings draw, is she? You know,
No.
It's like, what can we do to boost these catastrophic ratings? Let's bring back the other catastrophic reason why the ratings were bad. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Like, oh dear, we've got a fire here. Everything's on fire. There's some petrol. Let's just, you know.
What's going to be funny about it? I wonder. It'd be interesting to see if the viewing figures go down for the finale because she's in it. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, listen, as I've said before on our review shows, don't forget the big review show coming up at 8 o'clock tonight, where we are going to be looking at this properly. Lucky day. Come and join me in the Whotastic panel. We're getting to that point now, guys, where I think we're actually going to see the real reflection of the real audience, the real amount of alleged fans that are watching this show every single week, because it's going further down all the time. And we're not celebrating it. Before anyone kicks off again, like you have done on the Doctor Who Gay Fans group on Facebook, please get a life. Before anyone kicks off, we're not celebrating it, but it is funny. I mean, this has gone from a giant show, which I believe it still can be, to this. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. And all because of ideology and agendas from people that should know better. Hello, Go Vidal. Hi, JT. I watched the first episode, but I haven't been able to see the others. I can't make myself do it. You're not missing much, mate. Honestly, come back and look at us 8 o'clock as we wince our way through a couple of hours of entertainment for you. That'll show you everything.
Didn't we think that the actual core number of lefty bedwetters that actually were the core audience of this, we thought that would be about 2 million, but we were clearly wrong, weren't we? Yeah. I mean, it's now less than 1.5 million, because there's an element of that's people like us think it's like, you know, you can't tear your eyes away from something that's just destroying itself in front of you. It's morbid fascination. Yeah. But
I think it's called rubbernecking. Yeah, I think it's called.
Yeah. Well, it's less than that, isn't it?
We have to remember that this thing was all written a couple of years ago. It was all filmed back to back. That's why I think it's a little bit nonsense. But hello, Meddling Funk. How are they going to get so much talent on screen at the same time? I've no idea.
Yeah,
No idea. But let's have a look at
by making it 1 pixel by 1 pixel.
Let's have a look at the rumour that kicked it all off this weekend show, because if you haven't seen it, this is where I got this from. This has come from Fandom Impulse. So hello to them. Fandom Impulse. Exclusive! Alleged plot leaks reveal Jodie Whittaker. That's spelled incorrectly as far as I'm aware as well.
That's right. I noticed that as well, yeah.
Will be returning to Doctor Who at the end of this season. They carried on as saying, Doctor Who has been in major trouble. An alleged insider, it's always an alleged insider, has posted rumours.
A friend of a friend who's the janitor of the BBC. That's how it works.
Yeah. That's supposed to be. An alleged insider has posted rumours of the forthcoming plot of the BBC that indicate Jodie Whittaker will be making a return to Doctor Who by the end of this season for the ultimate double down in DEI solidarity, among other alleged plot leaks that will leave fans reeling. RTD has turned Doctor Who into a woke monstrosity since returning to the show. His first act, even as he trotted out Tennant to try to get fans nostalgic, was to create a new character of a black transgender named Rose, just to fling in the face of viewers that everything would be changing. In those episodes, the Doctor was lectured about being a male-presenting Time Lord, and perhaps the biggest insult to British culture came when Sir Isaac Newton was cast as an Indian man, despite that being historically inaccurate. At the end of the Tennant return, Davis invented bi-generation to show how Gatwa came from the Doctor. This was a clear pun trying to send a message to Doctor Who fans where he riffed on bi-generation or bisexual generation. The show became worse from there. Gatwa's iteration of the Doctor emasculated the character, with him crying nearly every episode, while his companion was the one who solved the problems. The most insulting to fans came in A Rogue, where he left his companion to go make out with another man. In this new season, RTD once again has doubled down by hiring an entirely LGBTQ plus writing staff, including grooming activist Juno Dawson, whose book, This Book is Gay, is targeted against underage kids to manipulate them to allegedly come out to their parents and friends. The first episode of the show, Attacking White Men, even with the language Planet of Incels, made it clear where RTD stood with the old Doctor Who fan base. In the midst of all this, ratings have been failing, but it seems like the content might get worse for a total double down middle finger to fans. Doctor Who expert Star Whovian on X posted that he has learned that fan-hated female Doctor Jodie Whittaker, arguably the beginning of the woke era of Doctor Who, will be coming back to the show, along with several other leaks on plot details that fans won't be happy with. He shared his insider rumours, which he told Fandom Plus he's been sitting on before announcing to make sure the first came true before posting them fully. These plot details will be posted exclusively for the first time here. So I'm aware of Star Whovian on X. We've never actually interacted, but I'm aware of him. Are you guys?
The name rings a bell, but that's all. Really.
Right, okay. So but basically, he said that Whittaker's coming back and it's going to be a lot of other stuff here. But it just made me laugh. I mean, why would you do that?
I heard a bit more to this, and there are more rumours doing the rounds, but that she's going to help him regenerate, apparently. But I thought when you told me about this before, that they may have done what they did with Tennant, so they just go straight back to where they left off, the Power of the Doctor, and go straight back to Jodie. So he'll regenerate back into whoever, or into Jodie, and she'll be the Doctor again, which is even worse in my mind if that was going to happen. But and wipe out Tennant's new Doctor and Ncuti at the same time, which is nearly there. Just go one more to Capaldi and we'll be fine, you know.
It makes no sense, does it? I mean, why would you bring in something that was incredibly unpopular to try and bolster something that is even worse? This just seems, if true, this is just RTD sitting there thinking still in his 2 years ago mindset that everything he does, everybody will love. And he's had one hell of a culture shock, which is why he's reacted in the way that he has, because nobody has, or very few people have enjoyed what he's produced and what's been splattered across our screens. And it's just an example of his ongoing delusion, really, I think. It wouldn't surprise me if he did this, but technically with bi-regeneration, you know, where every other previous Doctor's supposed to be alive again now, has Whittaker ever actually gone anyway? So what's she coming back
that's
from?
a terrifying thought, Ian. Goodness sake.
That's a good point. Marine Boy 66 is saying, is into us, if Whittaker was to come back, I have a suspicion that it may be as herself playing the Doctor. It's the kind of smart-artedness RTD would revel in doing, meta madness. And Marie UK is just saying they're just bringing Jodie back to peer us all off. Let's face it.
Well, I reckon that's going to say was we talked a while ago about these reshoots for the finale, and I wonder if these could be part of it. And it is him trying to piss us off, basically, even more than he's done so far over the past 2 years. You know, his last stab at us before he goes, allegedly. Yeah.
The writing was on the wall when these reshoots apparently happened. Because when was that? Was that? Oh God, I can't remember. It's all one big party here on Who's Views. So was it around about Christmas time?
Something like that, yeah.
Or was it the beginning of the year?
I can't remember.
4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, beginning of the year then, Ian.
About that, I think.
Yeah. And it's all set on the street we've already seen in the show, which I think is Belinda's street, looking at it. I think it's that street there. PTA, thank you for your super chat. Another giant spider next week. Yakety yawn.
Can we start? We'll have to do it near the time though when it comes to the last episode. But how will Shooty regenerate? Will he break a nail or something? What's going to happen?
Oh God! If he's regenerating,
dehydrating through too much tears.
He's drowned, you mean?
Yeah, he's dehydrated. Somebody mentioned in our chats a few weeks ago. That's what happened. Hi babes, hi fam babes, honey, there's your script, says Legion of James. Right, okay, so this is where I want to get into this. Bunty 4077 as well. Surprised BBC haven't said the viewers are much higher as they watch it as a group event. Well, don't forget the cinema thing is coming up for the last episodes, the last couple of episodes, that is coming up. So I find this funny, as some of you in the chat are as well. They're finding this funny. New Who Hater is saying to us, this would be another victory for the New Who Haters. This is becoming more exciting than when I used to follow football.
But normally you don't want your team to lose, do you? That's the thing.
No, not yet. That's the true. That's true. Mark S. Hello, Mark S. If 13 returns, it will mean the 14th and 15th will have been a dream, or should that be a nightmare? This is where I'm coming in. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't watch, as I say, the whole of the Whittaker era. I am just not interested in it all for the simple, good old-fashioned reason. Call me what you like, because I'm now used to it. I don't want a female Doctor. The Doctor is not a woman. It was made very clear in the original 26 years of Superior Time Travel tally that the Doctor is not a woman. So, no. Didn't want one in 81. Didn't want one back in 2017 either. Okay. If another one came along, I probably wouldn't watch it again, to be honest. I'd probably say, nah, not bothering. However, you guys did. A lot of you in the chat got through it as well. So why is this laughable to think that Jodie Whittaker would be coming back in the Gatwa era at the end in the finale? Because that thing there about fam and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what she called her companions. Yeah.
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 So go on, tell us what you think about this whole thing. If, you know, what would be the expectation? Because the British public don't know who she is as Doctor Who, just like they don't know Gatwa is Doctor Who.
Well, the expectation is it's not going to get any better. That's for sure. With her as an addition to it, to be fair. But I think they may do. This is again Russell repeating himself. In the Power of the Doctor, they had all the classic Doctors coming back to help Jodie get over this forced regeneration thing. So I wonder if they might do the same thing.
Was this dream thing you were telling me about?
It wasn't a dream. It was kind of in between lives kind of thing, like a void, wasn't it, Ian? That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Yeah. And so I wonder if he's just going to copy that and do the same thing, because that's Russell.
I think they only did that. Yeah. They only did that, getting Davison and Colin Baker and Sylvester and McGann in. They only did that to try and validate her as being a Doctor, you know, to give it credence. Let's get these classic Doctors in, and then nobody can argue that it's canon and everything else. It was shite. It was awful, and it was embarrassing. Really, I felt embarrassed for the classic Doctors being in it, but you know,
I thought they did really well. They were really good in it.
Oh yeah, really absolutely. It was nice to see them. I just
the Doctor. They could play the Doctor, I'm sure.
And even David Bradley, who's not really the Doctor, was in it as well. He was really good too. You know, so
So he was in it as well.
For them, really. I felt embarrassed for them because their eras were getting tarred with this really crappy brush, you know, and they were better kept separate, really. I think. You know, and it was.
It was mainly because it was the anniversary of the BBC.
Of the BBC.
That was why.
100 years of the BBC. That's the only reason that. What was it called? The last episode for Whittaker?
Power of the Doctor.
That's the only reason that was going ahead, wasn't it? Because Chibnall it was broadcast as part of the BBC's 100-year celebrational season.
Yeah, it ended on Legend of the Sea Devils, wasn't it? The lowest ever episode since last week. Or yesterday, in fact, yeah.
Since this stuff yesterday, yes. Yeah. David Shaw is saying, could Jodie Whittaker be returning to be the Doctor again to replace Ncuti? Anything's possible. But my question is, David, why would she be when she was just as unpopular as the current one? I mean, bringing Whittaker back, and this is all rumour lesson, and I do think it's a funny move. Star Whovian, I'm so sorry if you're watching this, because I am ridiculing it a little bit. Please take it in the fun it's meant to be, because I just think it's ridiculous that they would even consider doing it. But if it's true, then we'll look at it in a few weeks' time, or whenever it is. But
all these rumours have to be taken with a pinch of salt, don't they? Because there's so many rumours doing the rounds. I mean, how many returning characters are going to turn up in the finale, including the Rani, Omega, the Time Riddler, Susan, etc., etc.? I mean, really, again, and McGann, maybe, hopefully, yes. So
it was going to be Sean Pertwee as 3, wasn't it, previously, and that mercifully never happened, thankfully.
Sean Pertwee is the Doctor.
Yeah,
that was a rumor during the round for a while. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I would have probably marched on the BBC if that had happened, to be honest. It would have been carnage, but they didn't do it. I think they saw sense. But it's not new that they come out with this kind of rumour, really. But I mean, if Whittaker's still here, then if somebody tops her in it, then that means Gatwood disappears out of existence, doesn't he? So it's a win-win then. But I can't see us being that lucky, really.
No.
Steve Black is saying to us, I suspect it's BS with Whittaker, and more likely Joe Martin, who was at the premiere, I believe. So that's the other woman, isn't it?
The fugitive Doctor, yes.
I can never remember.
But it's like, why is she coming back? What's the point?
Well, who's she?
She's been making those statements that she is the legit first Doctor, isn't she?
Of course,
even though technically the first Doctor was this Asian female 10-year-old or whatever, which was certainly not Joe Martin.
You see, this is where I'm getting confused now, and that's the whole
You're
point.
You're confused.
Well, look, this is the whole point, because at this
particular point, confused.
This is a bit. So, thank you, Frankie. What is Joe Martin coming back to? He's also mentioned it. But at this, and hello to Dave. Hello, Dave Heitman, 1997. Hello to you with your lovely horse there. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well, darling. And Mr. Brown Alliance sent was to troll the ex-fans. It is. I mean, that's what I hope. Think this. Sometimes I think these rumors are put out there deliberately by these nasty people who work on the show just to annoy people and get them wound up and not get them sleeping at night. But, you know, the whole thing about this is, at this particular juncture now, I'm a not we, because I'm not a fan of that era. I never tuned into that era. I had a lovely time for several years, not worrying about the blooming thing, you know, and it was fabulous. So I don't know anything about this storyline, the Cyberman thing we talked about, or the children thing. Not, and it just sounds ridiculous. So why would it be true that they would bring back one of the most unpopular doctors to meet another unpopular doctor?
Yeah.
And refer to that era? Because you've mentioned there, who's the Asian one then? Where's that fitting in?
When they went back to the Doctor's alleged origins, because
which you should never do, let's face it.
It was absolute horse toss. But when they went back to the origins, the very first person that became the Doctor was this foundling child by a portal to another dimensional
timeless child.
Yes, this timeless child thing. And this woman from Gallifrey called Tecteun, right? Found Tecteun.
That sounds like a mathematical algorithm or something.
It sounds like some posh name for a tumor, doesn't it? But I mean, they went off and they found this child and brought them back to Gallifrey and adopted them as their own because, you know, she was white, Asian, interracial adoption.
But it's worse than that, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, and this child
This
child was playing with a boy on Gallifrey with a toy, naturally right next to a cliff, because you do, right? And naturally, the boy, who was white, was a twat and was pushing the girl, and she fell down the cliff. And you see this picture of her receding from camera, going like that. Fantastic. But Tecteun gets
that's
her,
a bit graphic, isn't it?
and she regenerates, and it's like, oh my god, what's this? And she then experiments on her adopted child, forcing more and more regenerations until she synthesizes what it is that regeneration is, and
This ring
gives
is
it to all,
right.
Which is
and
really
gives it to
nasty
all
thing
the
to do,
Time
isn't it?
Lords.
Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah.
But effectively, the Doctor, this timeless child, wasn't a Gallifreyan or therefore a Time Lord at all. And yet now he's saying, I'm a Time Lord, even though he knows technically he's not. So it's just that they create this bollocks and then they just forget bits. It's like we've all of a sudden got a universe again, but he made canon all that rubbish about flux, and yet most of the universe was destroyed at that point, and yet the bugger's back again, and there it is, and he's flying through it again like a big gay angel, and then is it going to be gone again? Is it going to come back again? Is he a Time Lord? Isn't he? Is he just... Oh God!
So the flux thing. Hang on, meddling funk. I wouldn't be surprised if Tennant and Joe Martin appear too, and then the four of them do an ABBA tribute at the end. Anything's possible in this blooming show at the moment. I tell you, honestly, meddling funk. It's so bad.
There's always a twist in the end, isn't there? Let's be honest.
So this flux thing was something that destroyed the universe.
Yes.
So you would have to have knowledge about that.
Was it the entire universe though, or just a fraction?
It was most of it, didn't it? Because it got all the way to Earth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, depending on which way it came, right?
Yeah.
You had this fleet of spaceships that managed to circle the Earth and make a protective sphere because they all linked together because they happened just to be built like that. They all protected the Earth from the flux, couldn't get in and everything. But it depends.
I think GT's going to a coma now, I think.
I mean, we did.
I mean,
it depends which way the flux approached the Earth, doesn't it? Because what if it came from the direction of the sun? Then it wouldn't matter if you protected the Earth, would it? Because the sun's gone.
So was the Earth destroyed?
No. Well, I mean, pretty much everything else was. And they referenced it in that second dark blue testicle.
Oh, yeah. Because that's where I disengaged. When the Tenant Doctor when he mentioned that, that's where I disengaged from the story because I thought, I don't know what this means. And because for a couple of seconds I was alienated from the show, I didn't get back into it, if that makes perfect sense. So that's when I think the majority of the viewing public that had come back after the nonsense of the pronoun crap the week before, they would have done the same thing. Oh, you've got to know what's happened before. Switch over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's basically validated that most of the universe is gone. And then, like when it suits him, a couple of weeks later, boom, it's back again. How? Don't know.
Because they forget what they're doing. We've got Gore Vidal saying to us, I haven't seen any indication that anything will change with or without RTD. I think we are going to be in this situation for a long time. The BBC is fine with it, apparently. From what I'm hearing, Gore Vidal, BBC Studios, who are the makers of Doctor Who, in co-production with Bad Wolf and Disney Studios, are absolutely set on keen on making sure Doctor Who survives. However, when you're getting overnight ratings of 1.5 million and it's going down weekly, serious questions need to be asked. And I'm sure at some point, somebody somewhere, an adult, will have to come into a room and say, let's take this off the air for a little while instead of rushing into doing something and seeing what's going wrong and do some blooming research. Surely that's the reasonable thing to do. Legion of James saying, Jodie's era is what killed it for me. Halfway through, who gives a flux, I switched it off. She wasn't the Doctor. Her acting was shallow and embarrassing. The stories were conceited and convoluted trash. And Joe Parker's with us saying, why can't the BBC grasp that it's over? No one is watching. It's getting bad reviews, fingers in ears. This is why the BBC is over. Never mind Doctor Who. Don't start me, Joe, on the BBC. Oh, you know me. Don't start me on that. Oh, I am a homophobic lot. I am sick and tired. I'm up to here with the blooming BBC, I can tell you. But what Legion of James was saying there, that was very interesting. This, again, is what I'm not getting. I heard this an awful lot when the show was on air from fans that were watching it, people that at that point were still talking to me, even though I knew what a woman was then as well. But they seem to know what a woman was when Jodie was playing the Doctor and then reversed it a couple of years later, didn't they, bloody hypocrites? Yeah. And if you're watching. Anyway, so I'll expect your apologies on a postcard. Thank you. And anyway, what's going to happen there? Yeah, I was hearing, oh, she's not that good. Oh, she's not that. Oh, she didn't deliver that line right. Oh, that's not how. Oh, the story's aren't that good. So why on earth would you go back to? Why would you have two of these two are the most spectacular miscats in Doctor Who history, aren't they? These two, Whittaker and Gatwa, all done for DEI. the tick boxing, not done for any real reason apart from, oh, you tick boxes, let's do that, and then let's evolve the show around you, which is always the worst thing to do. Why on earth, when the show is, and has been since last year and the year before and the year before, struggling, why on earth would you bring them together?
Yeah.
You'd only do it if you're an idiot. I mean, she had zero screen presence. You know, when she tried to deliver her lines, it was like she was struggling with a severe bowel obstruction, you know, and was really trying to push a little bit too hard. But all she'd do is when she delivered a line and she was standing there, she'd just lean forward a bit and say whatever crap they'd written for her, and then step back as if, like, you know, she'd made a point, and you just sat there thinking, idiot. You know, she had nothing. She brought nothing. She didn't feel the Doctor, just like this Pratt isn't the Doctor. You know what I mean? You have that essence, don't you? It's not something you can learn. Tom Baker could walk into a room at 92 and you think, he's the Doctor. You know what I mean? On his walking sticks, and he's the Doctor. You know, and Pertwee, Troughton, the Doctor, Davison and Colin Baker even, you know, and Sylve and everything.
As they proved in your I'm sorry, I've forgotten again. The last Whittaker episode, sorry, I've forgotten the title.
Power of the Doctor,
Power of the Doctor. What a stupid title. Why was the cut? Never mind. But anyway, you know, even in that, as you guys were saying there, Sylvester, Colin, Peter, three of them came back. And McGann, they came back, and they were the Doctor again because they know the Doctor. And they had, especially McGann, especially Davison, Sylvester, and Colin. Davison, Sylvester, and Colin Baker. They had a good run at it as well, in a sense. Because they were in Doctor Who. They had the proper production team doing it at the BBC. So they knew their Doctor. So you could bring them back at any time. I'm sure they pull the character off again and be able to deliver it. It's like Random Lad is saying here. It's like Paul Daniels all over again. Well, it is. We're getting to that stage.
We've said that many times, haven't we? That this has become a real joke again, as it was perceived in the 80s. You know, but no, I mean, I don't think it was a joke in the 80s, but obviously the public did, the media did, and which is such a shame. You know, it's a lot of potential. You know. Yeah.
Well, the media didn't help us back then, and we're seeing it again, aren't we? We are seeing it again now, which is so. I saw something. Was it either Friday or yesterday? It was over this very weekend, and it had I've forgotten the guy's name now, but it's another comedian. It's the one with short hair and goofy teeth. Not Alan Carr, thank God, can't be done with him. But another guy, and I just thought, but he's not an actor at all. He is actually a comedian. You know, he's not an actor. So no, and I thought, oh, the Paul Daniels effect, as I'm now calling it, trademark Who's Views.
There is another rumor doing the rounds a bit that they have potentially cast or got 3 or 4 possible Doctors, and one of them's a woman, apparently, again. So.
Well, why would they do? There is no way, is there really, that they could get rid of Gatwin now and bring the show back now without that rest, because 1.5 million. And before you all kick off again, let me just say that again, we have proven through Bedweir's ratings reports that the overnights are important because they contribute towards the consolidates. So can you imagine what the consolidated is going to be for Lucky Day? It's going to be minimal. It's going to be 1.7, 1.8 if it's lucky.
But it was the third watch program of the day, though, wasn't it? Let's be honest, that was really good.
Oh, I've had that today as well. Haven't you all in the chat? Haven't you all had that one? Oh, it was the third watch, but we've got to watch everything context. What's this? Jason Who, 1974. Chris Marshall should have taken over from Capaldi. He's an actor, though, and I hear he's been very good. I've had friends go to see him on stage in shows and say he's got gravitas, he's got that hold.
He's got a slight quirkiness to him as well. It's very doctory, I think, could have worked.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see, Paul, what he could do as the Doctor, I think. We've also got here as well, born in 68. Hello, welcome to Who's Views. Not seen you before, but the inside money is on Donald Trump going to AI himself as the Doctor because he's done everyone else.
No, he was too busy being the Pope, to be honest. That's the problem.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of politics in there. It's great to see you all. Thank you, Digby, for your super chat. Bringing back Whittaker, are we about to see viewing figures drop below 1 million? Well, give it till next week. 1.5 now.
Yeah, it's got 4 weeks to go. It feels like 14 weeks to go. But imagine if the finale does go under 1 million. That'd be amazing. I'm gloating now.
Now listen. I'll say again, thank you, Joe Digby, for that. Can I just say, the penny has just dropped for me because in the chat is Star Whovian. Are you the same guy? Hi guys, I don't blame you for not believing it. Honestly, just to reiterate, I was sent a list of things that are happening this season. I didn't believe it, but the first few things have come true. What is that? So it's you, that one. Oh, the penny has just dropped. Well, nice to see you. Thank you for giving us something to chat about. It's great to see you, honestly. And yeah, wow. Well, good for you though for getting some, little exposure on your old ex there. That's very good. Yeah, perhaps you can tweet out this show for us as well and tell them to subscribe. But no, I mean, this is. What do you think, Star Hoovian, about this one? So you've said you've had some other stuff that you've come true. That's interesting because I didn't hear anything. I've got certain contacts. I can't really say too much because you never know who's watching these things. Didn't know anything. Because it was all taken in-house last year, wasn't it, to Bad Wolf, and it was a closed everything. You heard the term closed set. This was closed everything, and contracts with really strict terms and conditions and all this. So you've had a few things that you were told in these 4 episodes or in last year as well. Let us know, Star Hoovian. But it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And that the penny's just dropped now. There's me before going, I don't know this guy, and he's with us all the time. That's brilliant. Oh gosh, this is interesting. Marie UK, am I the only one who really was irritated by Jodie's northern accent? She does the Asda adverts right now. When I'm driving in the car, I just switch it off. I can't be done with it. I'm sorry, I've got friends in Sheffield. But
I don't understand why. I don't get this idea of the Doctor has a northern accent. No offense to anyone, or a Scottish accent even. I think, why does it have? He's this. When McCoy did it, he didn't say every planet has a Scotland, did he? You know what I mean? He didn't say that. And the same with the Eccleston said every planet has a North. So why has he got an accent, or she got an accent anyway? It seems stupid.
I don't understand that. It would never have happened in Nathan Turner's day.
No.
It would have just got.
It doesn't have to be RP, but just at least a bit more neutral,
Well, do you think that's what it's about? This started with Eccleston, didn't it? And this whole thing about the BBC saying because of I remember a certain report that came out, which was really getting at the BBC saying it was too London-based, and everybody spoke with a pronounced accent, which actually at that point in the 90s, I don't think they were personally. So anyway, and I think that's wrong. For the BBC, I want those pronounced accents back on stuff. I don't want the F word every 20 minutes. So having to explain to a kid certain things. What was I saying? Yeah. Do you think this was down to the fact that when Eccleston came in, he just wouldn't have that? And it was this realism of, it's got to be representative.
What's interesting, though, I remember when we did the first season, it was obviously co-produced with Canadian Broadcasting Television or whatever.
Yeah, they gave some money for it, didn't they?
They had money for it, but apparently they'd asked, could they dub Eccleston because his accent was quite thick.
Did they?
Apparently so. And Russell said no, which is good. I'm glad he defended him. But I'd be interested to see whether or not someone asked that about Jodie, because her accent's even broader than Eccleston, I think.
So did she actually make her voice in Doctor Who worse than the Asda adverts?
No, I don't think she's changed at all. That's just her. I think.
That's the voice she was using.
She's just naturally irritating. I mean, she's South Yorkshire, which is, it's kind of like the poor relative that you never talk about when you're from North Yorkshire. Hi. But I mean, even as a Yorkshire person, that South Yorkshire accent that she has really irritates the hell out of me. It really does. It grates, and I've got friends in South Yorkshire, and
never mind.
Well, but the good eggs, but they don't speak.
You have to see that it's on camera. So.
Yeah, true. But yeah, her accent really irritates me. It does. But then Tom Baker and Paul McGann, they never spoke as broad Scousers, did they?
No, they didn't. No, and Tom could have done, but no, because it was the BBC back then. Yeah, it was the BBC, wasn't it?
Have you seen that wonderful interview with John Coleshaw plays the Tom Baker, and they're interviewing each other, and they get Tom to do Liverpudlian lines? It's absolutely hilarious. It's wonderful. Really.
Yeah. No, it is funny, that one. But in those days as well, when you went to the stage schools, especially of course the old RADA, it was drummed out of you. You were told to talk correctly, and you had to pronounce your R's, and you had to dot your I's basically through voice. It was very difficult when you were auditioning for things like that, because if you did come from the north, you were basically sort of marched out of the building.
It kind of gone up in peaks and troughs, isn't it? Because they had all the kind of kitchen sink dramas in the 50s with John Osborne, and you had people like Richard Burton with a Welsh accent and Richard Harris with a northern accent, all that kind of stuff, come out and being a bit rougher, and then it kind of came back again to be a bit more posh, didn't it, in the 70s?
Well, thank goodness for those trailblazers, but the biggest one for me, because you had so many people coming from the north. Victoria Wood is the one that always gets me, because she really laid it down, didn't she? She refused for a long, long time to move down south, and she stayed up north. A lot of them did. Until they were actually more or less had to move down. But
that's okay if you're a comedian or just an ordinary performer, but you're not a Time Lord from Gallifrey, are you? That's the thing.
Well, no, that's the thing. But I think it all did eventually have an effect on the BBC, because when you look at those things back in the 80s and you've got all these new comics coming up, all they did was slag off the BBC for being London-based. Because they all came from the north. You know, it was great. Dave Heitman is saying to us, I would love a Paul McGann mini-series. Now, so with this one here, right? This one here, he's been banging on about it for years. I think the time now, sadly, has come and gone.
I agree with you completely. I think Paul McGann's wonderful, as I keep saying, but I think you're right.
Lovely fella.
Too late. Could have done it ages ago, but they didn't. Really.
Wow, it's a shame. It's just a shame that they didn't have the. I understand why they decided to freshen it up with 2005. It would have been very easy to bring McGann back then, and we know he would have done it for at least one season to give him that thing. That's a fan wish, though.
Yeah.
But we know that arguably Artie did the right thing by recasting, bringing
in. Yeah.
And the Notwees in their masses here in the UK, of course, coming back to it.
And it was a mini-series for McGann instead of the Sea Devil thing. But I think it would have been awful as well, probably, to be fair. But
do you know what, though? As I've said many times, though, Ian, I think the McGann series would get more viewers than the Gatwa version, because we would watch it. That's the Doctor. We would come back and watch the show. All those fans, the millions of fans around the world that don't even bother with it now. And we know there are lots and lots and lots of people that don't watch this. So they would come back and watch McGann.
I have to say, compared to I got 1.5 yesterday. I think the Paul McGann mini episode, Night the Doctor, got more than that on the red button, apparently. So,
I think you're right there. It does ring a bell.
Yeah.
Chris Chatfield is saying to us, guys, Jodie is back. Yay! I actually knew about it from the video yesterday. Plus the bi-generation, Rani as Mrs. Flood and some Indian lass. Now, this is going into the new series territory, of course. But would they have a doctor with a Brummie or Somerset accent? Said DCK. You know what? They probably wouldn't, because people outside the UK wouldn't understand a Somerset accent. Even I struggle.
Well, it's almost Russell Gummidge, isn't it?
You are. Anyway, but it's a lovely part of the world. Don't get me wrong, I love you. So we've got all that coming in, but it's a real shame, isn't it? Were you saying something there, Ian?
No, I was just going to say that McGann would be fantastic because he's a quality actor, and I understand totally why Paul loves that version of the Doctor, and like Paul, he's a really nice guy when you meet him, not pretentious or anything. But if he came back in a short series made by these idiots, it would be destroyed, and that's the problem. It would. They don't know how to do it. They can't do it, and they would just screw it up. So I'd rather they didn't, to be quite honest, and just leave us with memories.
I always, I know what you mean, and I would agree with that. Keep it in the past, really. So that I would hate to see the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Zygons, or any. I mean, look what they did with Sutek. Yes. Can you imagine what they would be? I was going to say there as well. Yes, I can't remember the actress's name now, and I love her to bits. She hasn't been in the series yet. She was in The Good Wife, and she was in East is West. Archie. She hasn't been in this new series yet, and last year on Headlines we reported she's going to be in this new series. The rumors started going then, of course, that she was going to play the Rani. So who's Anita Dobson playing? The Harbinger? That's the word.
That's the thing. There's a rumor going around that she's the bi-regeneration of the Rani. So there's two versions of the Rani.
But there wouldn't be, because the Kate O'Mara one would be out there as well. God bless her.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Well, we don't know how many times, going to fan kind of pretentiousness here, we don't know how many times the Rani's regenerated over the time, like the Master and all that kind of stuff. So maybe there's more than one apart from Kate O'Mara. I know it's.
I like that though. I like that. She still would have had her 13 bodies in the 12 regeneration rule, wouldn't she? So I quite like that. And didn't Big Bog Fanish do one as well? With Siobhan?
Yeah, they did one. Siobhan McKenna, not Siobhan McKenna. Forgot her name. She's in The High Life. Forgot her name.
She's a cracking actress as well. She's beautiful.
Siobhan Redmond. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Of course it is. What a woman she is as well, eh?
Yeah.
What haven't Finished done, really?
Yeah.
To be honest, what haven't they done? But I mean, it's this whole Rani thing. You just think about it again. I mean, she probably is, but what did he say? This is series 1. You need no knowledge of the classic series.
This is series 2, Ian. So.
Well, yeah, but at series 1, he said this is series 1. You need no knowledge of the previous of the classic series.
They kept going on about it.
Yeah.
And yes, you do. You need encyclopedic knowledge of the original.
You do, exactly. Yeah.
Nothing that Welsh bellend writes will make any sense, frankly.
Well, he lies. We know that. Well, I'm going to say alleged at that point, but he does. He's so hypocritical. They say one thing and do the other. And I don't know why. In fact, this is why I have this whole thing, Who viewers, about I don't really like it when showrunners, i.e. producers, get in front of a camera, because it becomes all about them, as these three have shown over the years. You know, the three that we've had with Doctor Who have shown how egotistical they can become. I don't like that. Yes and no, John used to do it slightly. He'd be on Blue Peter or something like that, but he was always a bit quiet. It was never about him. He was pushing the show. He swore again he would never do it after the open air thing. But you never saw Hinchcliffe doing it. You never seen Uncle Terry doing it. You never saw Robert Holmes do it. I prefer that. I think that's classier. Put your actors out there, because they're the voice and they're the face of the show, not you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we've seen very clearly with the three who've ruled recently just how wrong they can get it.
When Russell originally did it in 2005, I loved his enthusiasm, because he was really into the show and really pushed it, you know, and was really kind of selling it to the audience, which was great. And I loved all that. And he's not like that at all anymore. You can see the bitterness coming out in all these interviews and some of the Unleashed episodes as well.
Anger.
Yeah.
But also back then, people were cottoning on to the fact, as the BBC did, it's Russell T Davies, because people still, even some of the Notwees, the British public were aware, sort of, some of them, who he was, because he'd had a massive hit with Queer as Folk in 1999. And then he'd done The Second Coming, which was relatively successful for ITV. So people were aware of the name. That's what they played on. But they kept doing it. They rolled out Stephen Moffat, they rolled out Chibnall, they're doing it again now. And I think that's the danger. Star Whovian is saying to us, I'm a regular viewer. I know. It's lovely to see you. I just don't comment very often, but you should. I love the channel. Oh, thank you very much. We love you too. I was sent the list of things happening before the season started. I can send you the list I was getting on X if you wish. Oh, go on then. We'll throw it in a future show. whosviews1@gmail.com. Kirsty will tell you about that. whosviews1@gmail.com. You know the address by now, Star Whovian. But we'll pop that in a little show and we'll give you a wee credit. We've also got George saying to us, this attempted Whoniverse franchise has totally failed. It's embarrassing. See, when I was watching it yesterday and that Whoniverse thing comes up.
That's like so cheesy, isn't it? Really cheesy.
It's blooming awful. And it's like the Marvel things and the Star Wars things. But now they've taken off all the...
Do you remember it was a Disney time, or the Disney movies had the fairy flying around the palace kind of thing?
Tinkerbell.
A bit like that, isn't it? Yeah, Tinkerbell. Yeah.
Tinkerbell. Yeah. I remember a panto that we did years and years ago, and we had to run around for about 5 minutes going Tinkerbell. Anyway, we'll move on. We've also got Kirsty knowing, did you know that Paul met Paul and that Bill is a lesbian?
I didn't know about Paul meeting Paul, but certainly knew about Bill being a lesbian. Yeah.
He has met Paul.
Oh, Mimi, yes, I have, yes. Yeah, there's a program on the channel about that, isn't there, somewhere? I think,
There is. We've got something about that. We've got a presentation there, and it was in the annual, the Who's Views annual.
It was, yeah. Just to keep mentioning it, yeah. It'll be next year's annual as well, probably, yeah.
The Who's Views annual for this year, 2025, is still available on the post section of our channel, by the way. Free download for you. If you're new to the channel, you can go and get our annual and have a laugh over a cup of tea and a Jaffa cake. McGann's return, says the Chorus Sci-Fi and Fantasy, could heal the show in a nanosecond. He was my doctor. I think somebody definitely of McGann's caliber is desperately needed, but Chorus Sci-Fi and Fantasy, before you even get to casting the doctor, you've got to have a new production team in place, and I think it's going to be difficult in show business now, because I've been looking at some of the stuff going on in show business. I've been rowing with people on the stage, Facebook page. They are utterly deluded. Have you seen the letter that's going on this week from alleged actors and actresses who are all going to sign this thing? against the Supreme Court's ruling that a woman is a woman and a man is a man. How dare they say that? How dare they say that in the world of show business? I think I would rather have Doctor Who off the air for a decent length of time until we can get these people in padded cells, educated.
You're right the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't it be fantastic if they actually did? Do you remember the original thing, guys, when the show was off air? Or as you know, after the 1989 series, they were going to drive the Doctor insane in McCoy's last one because of all his manipulations in the universe, all his games. The games would eventually get to him, and he would end up with McCoy regenerating. He would escape from a straight jacket. Do you remember one of those rumors? I was like, you've seen that.
He'd managed to do that. Being like, he always did that. He did that in Great Show in the Galaxy, didn't he? With the upside down. You know,
Yeah. Well, there you go. You see. Yeah. Thank you, Mecranon. You're right. Thank you. Nice to see you. Archie Punjabi. Yes, thank you very much. I like her. You'll recognize her, Who viewers, when you see her. She's a British actress. She did America very successfully. She did years worth in The Good Wife, which is a big hit for her. Because she played the no nonsense, fabulous character, the investigator. Great. Right. She's coming into Doctor Who. I am excited about seeing her. If they were going to give the Rani to anyone, I'm glad it would be her. But it depends on the script.
I had a hunch that Belinda might be the Rani, but that's just me.
Who get you with your hunches?
Yeah.
What, oh, God. I see. That's made me get a headache. Problem being is laughing here by saying, make Jodie Whittaker the Rani and Gatwa the Valyard. I would laugh my arse off. You mean you haven't already with what's been going on over the last few weeks? Honestly. And Julianne is saying, just the Night of the Doctor got 2.5 million views according to Google.
I rest my case. Yeah.
However, I still think if it had been something like a McGann miniseries on BBC One primetime, he would have brought in 6 to 7.
Yeah, easily.
With decent
well,
scripts.
you are going to find, aren't you, that if you add together the overnights for this entire series 2, they're probably still not going to amount to as much as McGann's TV movie got on its overnights.
Oh, the entire season, you mean? Yeah, just about, yeah.
Yeah, because it'll probably be something like 6.5 million, and he got what, 10 and a half?
Yeah, something like that,
yeah. It was just
when you do it properly, you know.
Yeah, and of course our rating system was different then because it was overnights only. Remember? Yeah. And it was a bank holiday, May the 27th, all those years ago. And it did very well here in the UK. It just didn't beat Roseanne, unfortunately, over in America. Although part of me, as I've said before, is very glad about that, guys, because I saw some of those, as I think we all have now, some of the ideas we had for a series. And remaking Pyramids of Mars, Genesis of the Daleks, and Tomb of the Cybermen was not on.
We would have got to where we are now, but in 1996 instead of 97, you know.
Yeah, definitely. What's this from Ron Sapp? Think of all the actors, production, staff, crew that are losing work. Same for those who sell the merchandise. Yes, that I often do, Ron. I often do. Because we know as fans, don't we, that the Doctor Who merchandise is down in sales. The stuff they're churning out now is limited. It's very scarce and it's rubbish. I was in Tesco the other day and I saw the greetings cards for Doctor Who back. One of them that I saw with Gatwa on it. Now, who the hell's going to buy that? Who's going to buy
a sympathy card? And it's like when you
trademark, copyright, who's used. Matthew Pound is saying to us quite rightly, don't universe build until the ratings come in. Well, we said this, didn't we? But no, they thought. Matthew, I honestly believe that RTD and his cronies around him thought, oh, it's us. We know what we're doing. Everybody's perfect. Blah blah blah. We'll churn this out, and millions will come. How badly they viewed the British public and Doctor Who fandom. Had they just produced, like they did, I would say, Series 4, good quality drama without all their nonsense, like they had done with Discovery of Witches, by the way, and some of the other stuff that Bad Wolf had produced. This is why I blame RTD first and foremost, to viewers, because Bad Wolf had some really good stuff without all the agenda in it. I think it could have been a hit. And I think we wouldn't be here today having these conversations. I think we'd be here today celebrating it.
Yeah, I can't wait for 8 o'clock to talk about the episode because, yes.
Problem being, the link to our annual in the chat. Thank you very much, PB, and thanks for to Kirsty for being in there as well. And Doctor Who fan man, it's lovely to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. Has anyone noticed how the classic collection Blu-rays have now been infected by the latest? What? Oh, you always left me on a cliffhanger. Oh, you're outrageous. What's that? Infected by what? The classic collection Blu-rays have now been. Oh, what by? Do you mean in features and extras and stuff where they shoehorn in whoever played the Master last or something like that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, they did that with Sacha Dhawan, didn't they, on season 8?
That's the name. Sorry,
Yeah,
I listen. If you're new to the channel, I know nothing about the Chibnall and Whittaker era because I didn't watch it. That's why these two are here with me today.
I wasn't keen on his portrayal of the Master. It was a bit too jokery for me, a bit too insane, you know. Even more insane than John Sim, you know.
They really went to town on the insanity side of it, which if you look at Delgado, or to be honest, Pratt or Beavers, you know, you don't have the insanity. You have that cold, calculating evil.
I love Anthony Ainley as well, but he's restrained compared to the new ones. It really is, honestly.
Yeah.
Anthony Ainley, I was thinking about him the other day because it's so many years now since we lost him just over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I met him once, and he was a charming, beautiful man. One of the last great British eccentrics. He was absolutely fabulous. And I like his Master.
So do I, yeah.
You know, because it was different to Delgado, which it had to be, and which Anthony did deliberately because he couldn't copy Delgado, who he knew and respected the performance. We forget that these people all knew each other and had worked together with certain things or come across each other before.
Because almost like he factored in that idea that he'd taken over someone's body and the Master was kind of traumatized. He was a bit unhinged, you know, because of all that. I think he played it wonderfully at times, you know. Yeah.
That's where the Master doing the laugh came from, wasn't it? Because that wasn't really a Delgado or Beavers Pratt thing. It very much came from Ainley, which was fine because he did, although visually, you know, dark hair, beard and everything, he visually was done very much. But the characterization was completely different, which is what he should have done. And he was great.
Yeah. Lots of comments about Anthony now. Best Master we never had was Alan Rickman. Oh,
can you imagine?
Do you know what? You've just remembered. Oh, David, you've just reminded me. I had this conversation in the 90s where I thought he'd be great as the Doctor. I thought he'd bring that sort of edgier, darker aspect that we were all going through back in those. We wanted the darker. Remember, guys, we wanted the darker Doctor. We didn't want the camp. You know, we didn't want that. We wanted the settlement. We were all still on the Batman 1989 thing, weren't we? Really? I still think he would have been great. God bless Alan Rickman. Though there was a blooming talent. His Snape in Harry Potter. You can't touch it, and I'm sorry, but the new one's coming in. I don't like who you casted. I'm going to be talking about that on this channel at some point, aren't we, Kirst? Oh, we'll be kicking off.
I think you can't. It's very hard to. It's like a definitive casting, isn't it? You know, it's very hard to top it or change it, isn't it? That's the thing. You know.
Yeah. See, Kirst and I are on the same page. We've got concerns about this new Harry Potter stuff. So,
just as an aside,
Harry Potter's quite appropriate, really. You think about
it. I know nothing about Harry Potter, really. I've seen the films, and that's it. But so you know, I'm bow to your greater knowledge. But will this guy that's being cast as Snape now? Will he be recast? Because he's been very vocal in the last week against JK, hasn't he?
I don't know. I don't even know if he signed the contract. So we're going to have to see, aren't we?
It'd be funny. He'd deserve it if it was just like, right, okay, fine, on your bike, cast somebody else. It's really good.
I heard that allegedly, come close there, everybody. Allegedly, J.K. Rowling wasn't very happy with the casting decision.
Is she not suing them for to get the rights back again? Was not something about that?
She's doing? No idea. No idea.
But John Lithgow as well is playing Dumbledore, isn't he? And he's it's all kicking off there as well, isn't it? Apparently,
it is all kicking off there.
Well, that's another show, isn't it? To be honest,
it is. We're going to be talking that on another show, and of course, in an hour's time, we'll be back to talk about last night's Doctor Who 1.5 million overnight for Lucky Day. It's up on the channel for you now. Make sure you've liked it. Make sure you set the reminder. It's time for you lot to go and get yourself a cup of tea and a slice of cake, as another iconic character used to say. Because we will be back with Paul and with Third Doctor Ian and the Whotastic panel in an hour's time for the big review show when we really get into that lucky day. I cannot wait to see what these two think, what everybody else thinks, and what you think about as well. Listen, thank you for joining us here live at 6 on Who's Views. What a pleasure. What a great. Hope you're ready, because there's a lot to talk about in an hour's time. Come and join us then. Guys, I'll see you in an hour. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you soon. Bye-bye.